Alright, welcome back to Super Hyper Mega whatever this game is called. We are now moving on to the third level, Sunset Hills, with my favorite Dead Rising character. Not Nick, not Annie, but Mr. Chuck Green. Here's all the costumes. We will be starting off with the normal costume, the Chuck Green costume. His appearance is based on Dead Rising 2 and not his appearance in Dead Rising 3. Which is cool, because I love his Dead Rising 2 appearance. You can't get any better than that, can you?
I know my way around a zombie or two.
Ready, go!
I wouldn't say Chuck really has any, like, memorable, like, funny lines that you can have him say there. That would be, like, in-jokes for every time you start a level. Whereas Frank has a lot of memes, like, you know, zombies, huh? I had a feeling you'd show up, or I've covered wars, you know, or fantastic. I could pretty much just keep going on with Frank. So Chuck just has a lot of, like, kind of generic things to say, like, I know my way around a zombie or two. And yeah, so what we're doing right now is we're driving this motorcycle to the end of the area. It's not really that long. This first level isn't that long. Although this first level is very good for one reason that we will see very shortly. I'm not sure exactly why that happened, how his thing disappeared like that. This is what's, you know, should happen. Chuck is very good. He's a good character to use. His you know, his normal costume is good. He's got just the, you know, right amount of, like, strong attacks and stuff like that. He's not too weak, not too strong. He's good. Usually when I play as people in this game, it's usually Frank or Chuck in their default costumes. And the paddle blades are a very good weapon to use because even if I'm just attacking this gate right here, I can still attack things below me, or behind me anyway. And up here the music is going to change to something incredible. And yeah, you can see that that's based on Dead Rising 2. So this is based on Mega Man X. I think it's the theme, but it also kind of sounds like the first level. Yeah, I think it's the first level actually. But no matter what, it's a Mega Man X song, which is really great because I feel like Mega Man wasn't really represented that well in this DLC. And just like the other characters, at the end of the stage, Chuck's theme will play, which is one of my favorite songs from Dead Rising 2. You do actually hear it very briefly in Dead Rising 3 in the story at the very end when Chuck gets off the plane. It was really cool to hear it.
Round 2, rescue the survivors.
I'm gonna make it all the way!
Ready, go!
So here is another character from a game series that I know nothing about. So I can't really very well appreciate it, which is the very unfortunate thing about a lot of the costumes in this, is that, you know, if I knew what this was, I'm sure I'd be able to really appreciate this, but, you know, I don't get any of the jokes, I don't get any of the references, because I've never played this series of games. But yeah, right here we have another one of the Rescue the Survivor missions. These are very easy. There's not a survivor down here. I just wanted to show that there's a few treasure chests down here, and a Yashiki, which is what that little thing that looks like the Umbrella Corp logo is. That fills up your super bar. These missions aren't so bad. I think there's only... This actually might be the last one, actually. Even though I do not understand, like, you know, any of the jokes about this costume or any of the references, this is a very good costume to use. It's very good at clearing away large groups. because he has that sliding attack, which is very good, and this oversized bat. And that is a very good super attack as well.
Maximum health.
And yeah, see, this makes sense. Like, having Peter Fleming, I do believe his name is, the guy who plays Chuck, you know, to have him come back and do the DLC makes sense because he was in the main game. But then when you have TJ Rotolo coming in to do, like, a few lines as Frank for the DLC, it's very weird, but at least they kept consistent with Frank and his voice actor, because I don't think I would like Frank as much if it wasn't for TJ Rotolo. I think his voice is perfect for Frank. But we're not playing as Frank right now, we're playing as Chuck.
Charged up.
Chuck has probably, next to the Annie Chun-Li costume, one of my favorite costumes in the entire game. Not only is it very cool, it's a cool costume from a character that I really like in a series of games that I really like, but it is also very useful. Which is sometimes the unfortunate things about this, is like sometimes you'll get a good costume from a series of games you like, but it isn't very useful. Like Annie's Regina, you know, I'm not a big fan of that, even though I do like Dino Crisis. Yeah, I do really like this costume for Chuck. This is the opposite of, you know, I like the character but don't like the costume. You know, I don't know who this character is, but I like the costume. And this is another one of those where they give you, like, plenty of time. You should never time out in this mission. Especially if you do this, like, in order. I always follow this path, just because it, you know, it takes you from one side to the other. And you should always hit them on your way. But if you go kind of all over the place, it's, you know, not the greatest thing in the world. And that's a tofu thing, you don't want to pick that up. Yeah, see, that's a very good attack for clearing out this, like, those rooms. And you really don't want to get anywhere near that bomb guy. Like, you can kill him before he explodes, but I would just recommend running away, because you really don't want to risk the damage. Because the bomb guys do pretty significant damage. And right down here is the last one. Picked that one up by accident. So yeah, that's that costume. It's a pretty good one. Again, I don't understand any of the references, but it's a good costume. It works very well. The next one, however, is a very good one, so that'll be fun.
Bonus round. Shoot 'em up.
I welcome your challenge.
Ready, go!
So this is Captain Commando from Captain Commando. He has a very good costume to use. However, we won't be showing off his, like, mostly any of his moves in this this level, because it's just, you know, kill all the zombies, and here's a lot of weapons you can use, which is very nice. This is probably my second favorite bonus round in the game. There is one that we will do in the next video that is probably my favorite. But this one's really great for getting a lot of points. Like, if you're trying to get an S rank, this is a damn good level to get get a lot of points. I would recommend trying to get that POW thing there, because that will give you even more, it'll just kind of power you up. And it'll do damage to these guys like nothing's business. And now we're just gonna leave. You don't have to break those boxes or anything, because this is a Zenny Bonanza. It'll just break for you, because why not? So yeah, that is the first instance of us playing as Captain Commando. We will, however, be playing as him in the next level, just so I can actually show him off properly. Again, I'm skipping the second costume because it's just the Terror is Reality costume for Chuck, which is just like kind of a normal outfit for him, but a helmet. Again, the secondary costumes are not great, so I'm not showing them off. I'd rather have more time with the kind of out there costumes. Good quote there, Chuck. So yeah, this costume is very good. I'd say it's even very useful for these, like, you know, break the thing missions. There are other costumes that can do these missions a lot quicker, but this one is very good for it. And this is one of those things where I love how ridiculous this, you know, this DLC is, because he announces like all of his attacks. And we might as well pick up the refill here, the S-Tank. But yeah, this is one of the better Chuck costumes. You know, I really like his default costume. I like the Captain Commando costume. It's not that I don't like the baseball one, but I don't know anything about it. And the next one we will be showing off is definitely my favorite. And yeah, his super attack is pretty phenomenal. Makes it feel like Dragon Ball Z or something. And yeah, there are 8 generators. I feel like this one can kind of be hairy sometimes. Like, if you're using not a great costume, this can go on, you know, fairly long and you might not win.
Great! Fantastic! Amazing!
But as long as you do these in order of, like, alright, so this one is the closest to you when you start off. Go to that one first, and then make your way around in, like, a, you know, a normal motion, if that makes any sense. Like, don't go to the one that's right near you, and then go to the one that's the farthest away from you, and then go to one in the middle, and then go to the one that's over to the right, and so on and so forth. Just go in a big motion, like you're walking down the street, and hit each generator as you go. That is, I think, the best way to do these missions. Because if you keep going out of your way, and then going back, and then out of your way, and then going back, the timer is gonna go down a lot quicker for you because you're not doing it in a, you know, a time-saving manner. This is a good time to use these guys. These guys are really useful in these missions because they break the generators really quickly. Like, sometimes you don't even need to do anything. You just need to stand there and they'll do the work for you. I wish you could do a knee drop in the in this DLC, but you can't. I don't think you take damage, though. I don't think you take fall damage. So this isn't going to take too much longer. Again, as long as you follow a good path and not keep going out of your way, you will be fine. But this one can be a little hairy if you don't know what you're doing. And of course I know what I'm doing. When do I not know what I'm doing? Thankfully, most times when you destroy the generators, they will give you an S-Tank to refill your super meter. And see, we still have, you know, over 2 minutes to do this, and we only have 2 more to go. And they're both right next to each other, so this is really easy. You know, we can take the time to kill that little harvester there. Because we got plenty of time. We've got a full super bar, or super meter, whatever you want to call it. So even if we have to, we can just keep using the super attack. Which we will, duh. Sometimes they'll throw, I think, the tofu tanks at you when you destroy the generators. You know, obviously don't fall for that, because it's just a waste of time, because you can't do anything while tofu. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. You can't do anything when tofu. Up here is another S-tank. So, we can just destroy this last generator. No problemo. Look how many zombies that super tech took out. Seriously. It's just incredible. That was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. This one you might want to go to first if you want to collect all the things here, because those barriers don't open up until you destroy the generator. And obviously once you destroy this generator, it's going to be over because it's the last one. So, you know, if you really want to explore that area, come here first, I guess. And now we only have one more costume left, and by God, it is my favorite. Alright, move on, game. Sometimes you're just a little slow, game. Come on.
Round 5. Reach the destination.
Are you ready for your final journey?
Ready, go!
So yeah, that would be Sigma from the Mega Man X series, one of my favorite series of games, and it is really great to see this because this is just an extremely over-the-top costume, and Chuck's voice actor just does such a great job with it. There's a lot of motorcycle sections in this, so I guess it's pretty appropriate that I was able to do this one as Chuck, although I keep fucking up on the motorcycles, so, you know, Chuck's supposed to be some big motocross star, and no, he's just running into things and doing bad driving. This is one of my favorite end of the level, or end of the end of the levels, I guess. See, look at that, that was terrible. Supposed to be better than this Chuck. Although I guess technically it's Sigma. Yeah, but yeah, this is one of my favorite like end of the stage levels. I guess that makes more sense. And you will see why in a second. It's pretty much once we reach this bridge, you'll see why. Whoa, okay. Bus came out of nowhere. Just keep trying to hit the ramps. Make sure you have a lot of like you're all powered up with the super meter, and you know, try and get that Yashiki. So anyway, over here we have the Shadow Boss, aka Akuma from Street Fighter, which is really cool. You know, it's very different from the like the super zombies and stuff, because these super bosses are sometimes very difficult, especially when you're fighting multiple of them, which we will see. But yeah, Sigma has a lot of really great attacks. However, I wouldn't say any of them are really great for attacking the Shadow Boss. So this can go on a little longer just because I decided to do Sigma here instead of another level.
Maximum health.
But as long as you keep refilling, you know, he's got 4 super meters, so you can just keep doing this to him. But yeah, Sigma's got a lot of really great attacks. That one is one of my favorites. The one where he throws his scythe, I don't think is as great. This is good as long as you're able to, like, if I'm doing that in a group of zombies, it's phenomenal. But if I'm trying to kill the Shadow Boss, it's not the greatest thing in the world. Don't you dare Shoryuken me, pal. Might as well go heal before I die. Alright, let's finish this guy off. And Zenny Bonanzai, as usual. I keep pronouncing that word weird. Is it Bonanzai? Banzai? No, Banzai is something completely different, like a bonsai tree. Oh well, I'm just never gonna be able to pronounce that word correctly, apparently. But yeah, Sigma is probably my second favorite, probably my first favorite, actually, costume in the game. Chun-Li is probably second. Sigma is just a really, really great costume to play as. He's a real treat. And Chuck, overall, he is my second favorite character in the series, and he is definitely my second favorite character in the... well, no, sorry, Chuck is my favorite, but he's my second favorite to play as in this game. If that makes sense. In the story, Chuck is my favorite character in the entire Dead Rising series, but in this DLC, he's my second favorite to play as. Next up will be Frank.